Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it's time to take a look at the new Commander Shizu, the Flaming Armament. She's an okay character. She's not bad. I wouldn't call her super duper generically great, though, either, because she does have a few limitations to her kit that are pretty big. So let's talk about it. Physical, fire, Commander Heart of a Hero Adventurer uses a sword. Her alt is an EX fire AoE alt, with also raises your attack by 5%. So if you want to, maximize that, you'll send her alt first and then send somebody else to get extra power out of it. Her first skill is Commander and the Heart of a Hero character's physical attack by 100%, and then EX alt damage by 70. So it requires you that you, one, be an EX character with an EX alt, 2, require you that you be a physical character, and 3 and 4 require you that you be Commander or Heart of a Hero. So within this one skill, there are 4 different limitations. EX, Physical, Commander, Heart of a Hero. Having 4 separate limitations in one skill is not great. It's very powerful if you fit all 4 of those conditions. It's very powerful, but if you don't, you're missing out on quite a number of big-time buff. Maybe you're not an EX character. Okay, well, you don't get that. You're not a physical character. Well, you don't get this. You're not on Commander Heart of a Hero. Well, you don't get that. And if you're not either of them, then you don't get anything. So it's a useless skill. So heavy limitations in that. Her second skill is kind of like Primal Demon Diablo, except for oranges. She changes an entire hand of oranges. So no matter how many you have, be it 1 or 6, they will all become blues. It's a good skill. I do wish it was a little bit more special convert, so like 2 oranges and a green, because Hinata's doing 2 greens and an orange, so I wish she was just the opposite of Hinata, and that'd cover you for almost any situation ever. But it is what it is. Her Valor trait seals magic skills, very good for Valor Cup. Her actual trait gives her extra attack after sending 6 blues, only useful for really Jubilee or anything like that. So because of this heavy limitation, there's not a lot of teams that I can use her on, but we will try. And we'll start off by going into the Commander Beatdown battle. Alright, this is the team that I'm going to run right now. I've got Renard, I've got Lumi for the alt buff and the orb change and the multi-hit, Glenda for the debuffs and the synergy and the alt swap, Lumi for turn 1 and the light buff for our current DPS New Year's Rimuru, because the dark character's coming in a week from now. And then we've got the new Shizu, who's going to buff the Commander Physical Rimuru by 100%, his EX alt by 70%, and he's going to do a literal butt ton of damage. And again, he's not the true DPS of the meta, because he's not dark. It's still going to work, though. Alright, so turn 1, this is why we have Lumi, because she's got the 10% gauge buff, plus the double greens, so we don't need to use Hinata right here. It saves us from making her skill any more expensive than it already is. And then we'll bring Rimuru and we'll bring Shizu in, since they both have units underneath them that give us protection trait turn 2, along with Lumi actually doing that herself, which means that we'll get a double stack of Renard for turn 2, which is great for stacking teams. Don't ever underestimate turn 2 protection traits. And, okay. So how many points do we have? We have 58, plus now we have Rimuru's trait kicking, and so now we have 63. Now we can actually use both Hinata and Shizu's skills. So Shizu convert right here, we're only changing 2, and then we'll bring Hinata in for Lumi, and then we'll use her convert, boom, and now we got a full hand of blues. But we did have to use 2 30-point skills, and, without Rimuru's trait, we wouldn't have been able to do that. That would have been a reset, because, she's expensive. But she could have changed more. If we had 5 oranges, she would have handled that fine. And, that is the power of having someone who can convert an entire hand of a specific color. But, like, right here. Say if Hinata only changed greens and Shizu only changed oranges. We'd have to use 2 skills here to do that. To change 2 greens and an orange. Right? That's not what I want to do. I want to use 1 skill, and thankfully we do have that 1 skill in Hinata, which is going to change that, which is really good. And that's why having those kind of varied skills is, in my opinion, much more impactful than having a unit that can potentially change 5 or 6 oranges, because the odds of you getting them, while not impossible are also not super duper high. I mean, we'll see if we get a turn here where we actually need it or not. No, there's 4 greens. So, I mean, we have Lumi and Hinata that can do that right there. So we don't need Shizu at all this turn. And yeah, Rimuru will get the full buff from the Shizu though. Like she will give him everything because he's gonna have an EX ult, he's on Commander, and he's physical. So he's gonna do good work. Shizu can actually come out of here right now because we're gonna pull in this blue orb. So we can just use Lumi and Hinata and get a full hand. And you know what? I'm going to Rainbow Orb with Rimuru, so we just get his EX ult, or close to it. Or just get it. Alright, good. Okay. So, you know, so far we've used Shizu once. One time. Are we going to use her again? Okay, yeah, we can. So, what are we doing here? We'll do this. Boom. And then we can take Lumi out, and we'll just, yeah, we'll take that green, so we don't have to use Hinata. We'll use Shizu's Convert, and then we'll get Hinata out of here after we stack, and we'll bring in Glenda, and she can double alt swap. And that's what makes Glenda a really good free-to-play character, is that she can double alt swap. And everyone has access to her, unless you are watching this video, like, 2 months from now, and then, sorry, the game hates you. Okay. Okay, I don't really know what to say, because I don't really know what to say with Diablo either. Like, on the Primal Demon team, or on the Commander team, like, they're gonna look really good. Like, because they're both doing essentially the same goddamn thing. Diablo and Shizu are. And while it's a bit maybe unnecessary, it is still useful. If you are running a dedicated team that can take advantage of everything that Shizu is bringing to the table. If you are not an EX character, you will not get that 70% EX ult damage. Or if you are an EX character, but you don't have an EX ult, you don't get that 70%. It just doesn't exist for you. And if you're not a physical character, well, then why are you bringing a physical support? If you're, you know, using a magic character. That doesn't make a lot of sense. And if you're not on a Heart of a Hero or Commander, then you're not going to get it anyways. Because it's limited to those 2 forces, which are not super great forces. Commander has at least 1 more unit coming. That's very true. Okay, what's coming in next? Another green orb. Alright, so let's use Hinata. Boom. We'll send her away for Glenda. Alright, we'll use the double alt swap. Boom. So we've used Shizu twice. Right? Twice. And never in a situation where we needed to use... where we had more than, like, 3 orange orbs. So we could have gotten away with Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, being 1.5 years old, and only needing 2 oranges. And having, you know, technically, yes, a worse physical buff, but it's very generic and it's not locked to different forces. I'd much rather have that. But this is Shizu's showcase. We should show off what she can do to help this Rimuru do damage. Not gonna get an EX ult for her, unfortunately. But that means we can probably reliably ult with her first, and then have the extra 5% attack effect come in for New Year's Rimuru. And he'll do, you know, even more damage, quote-unquote. Alright, so 393 skill points. I think we should be good, so light buff, doesn't affect Shizu at all. Glenda comes in, guaranteed synergy, physical down. Okay. And then Hinata comes in, and we'll use her buff, Shizu's buff, Rimuru's personal buff, and 1 more stack of Renard? 2 more stacks of Renard, okay. And then we'll take a look at the buffs that Rimuru has going on. Okay, so for those who don't know, EX alt buffs are just placed on top of normal buffs. So you can see that they're not grayed out, they're working together. It is just an additive thing, though, so this is essentially 190%. It doesn't take the calculations for 120 and then tack this on at the very end. It's just 170% alt damage. Or 190, sorry, math. And then Rimuru has 132% weakness strike from Renard, 60% light attack from Lumi, guaranteed synergy from Glenda, physical attack from Shizu, 40 attack, and 60 weakness strike from his own skill. And then we're going to add another 5% attack from Shizu's ult that we're going to send first. So let's send that. Let's send one Rimuru orb, and then let's send his ult. So 809k for Shizu, 166 for that orb, and 7.4 million damage for Rimuru. That's really, really, really good damage for a non-type advantage character, because he's not dark. This is a light fight, and we're using a light character to nuke. So when we get that final character, it's going to go up to like 8.5 million or something like that, maybe higher, depending on what kind of buffs that final unit has. On the team that Shizu is meant to buff, she will be extraordinary support for that team, and there is no other way to put it. She will be a goddess. But when you take her away from the commander meta, that is where the cracks are going to start showing. Alright, next we're going to take a modified fire team into EX5 Tempered Edge Clayman. We're going to bring Fire Benimaru because of the turn 1 orb change and the burn requirement, so we don't get binded and poisoned. Free-to-play hero will hopefully give all the orbs away to Summer Shizu, who is on Commander, so she will get that physical buff. She is an EX character, so she will get the EX ult, and hero is going to give away, hopefully, a full 6 orange orbs to Shizu, so we can get her EX ult, and we can make the Shizu look like a good support character. And then free-to-play Gopta is here to cover greens, so we've got our turn 1 covered, and then we've got, blues covered between the full orange convert for Shizu and then the 2 green convert for Gopta, and then Shion's going to get oranges. So we're pretty much covered on all bases for this team. Shion's going to give guaranteed crit and synergy to physical characters, so both of these girls, well, this entire team will get it, essentially. And, I mean, this should work. I mean, it's not that hard of a stage nowadays. Alright, so turn 1, we do have to orb change with Benimaru. We do have to apply the burn. We don't want to bring in any of the Shizus because he does put a crit nerf on us, so we don't really want to deal with that right now. Best off is just to send this 6 hand of greens and call it a day. And then we'll bring in the other girls later. Hopefully we can get a nice hand of blues or something for the oranges. I mean, we could do either or. And I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to do the converts. So let's use Gobta's convert right here. Take care of that green, and then we'll bring Shizu in. Actually, after we bring in Summer Shizu for Gopta, because he has the most orbs. And then we'll just give away, or we'll change these oranges with the new Shizu, and we'll look pretty good. We don't need to use Shion right now, because we're not totally, that far into it. Oh wait, hold on. Who am I sending for? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Alright, there we go. Technically we should have sent, oh well. We got the Shizus mixed up, sorry, my bad. It's not that big a deal. Alright, guarded that hit, not a big deal again. I mean, this'll kind of work, I guess. Alright, let's do some instant damage, buff up the oranges a bit, and then we'll bring Hero in for Benimaru. We'll use Shion, give everybody the crit synergy, change this entire hand into oranges, and then we'll use the giveaway to send them to, Summer Shizu. And we'll get a decent amount of gauge here. Almost an ult, so not quite. We do have 2 ult swappers on this team. Both Gopta and Summer Shizu can do that, so we can still run the next turn just fine. What's his hand look like? Yeah, I think, we'll alt swap, boom. We'll bring Gopta in, and we'll alt swap again. We do have a number of orbs for Summer Shizu, so we are guaranteed to get her ult now. And I think if we use Shion now, we'll actually cycle her next turn. After sending all these. Oh, so close. Damn it. Do we not have a gauge increase here? Well, I mean, we can just do this, I guess. We've gotten the guaranteed crit and synergy, and now we've got a whole hand of oranges. Let's just convert them all to blues. We're still going to get the EX ult for Shizu, And this will definitely help us cycle Shion. I guess that's one way you could do it. That, that might not be a bad strategy for Jubilee normals. Oranges don't cycle very well. It gets us a lot of ult, but we only need a little bit. She could just change that entire hand. Okay, I think we've discovered a very good use for her. All right. Well, this is what we get for doing showcases, right? We're still benefiting off of the the buffs that Shion's giving, but being able to cycle very, very well. All right, so how many points do I have now? I've got 130, so I actually don't have enough to use both buffs, unfortunately. I need to... Oh, I would have had to get that last turn. I mean, let's just see how much it does anyways. So, Commander, Heart of a Hero physical, and then a 70% EX ult damage. Both of them will get it. I mean, we're going to kill, obviously. Let's replace the guaranteed crit, guaranteed synergy. Why haven't I turned that off yet? We'll watch the Shizu ult, because we don't see it very often. And... do I think she'll kill by herself? How much health do you have? 296? And no, let's just send this. We'll call it a day. Summer Shizu in her one piece. Man, I like this outfit. Okay, so I mean, I'm fairly certain this will kill. It's a powerful buff when you get it to work properly. And right now we are working it on for a unit that can benefit off of all of it. 344k. I mean, yeah. That's good damage right there. Again, if you can play to its strengths, its limited strengths, it's going to make someone look very, very good. But you do have a number of limitations to get by. You need the EX ult. So on that turn, the new Shizu, she got the physical buff because she's Commander and she's Heart of a Hero, but she didn't have an EX ult. So that 70% would not have actually applied to her. So I probably could have sent her first and she wouldn't have killed, because we were only getting half of the skill's worth of power. And, that is a problem. If you want maximum ability, you need to have the EX ult, be on the two categories, and be a physical character. Alright, the last part of this video, gonna go into the old Wind Tempered Edge against Geld and Diablo. Adventurer Shizu, she's on Heart of a Hero, so she's gonna get the physical buff. She's an EX character, so we can make use of this. We're gonna run a whole bunch of blue orb changers so we can start cycling Frey and get a lot of points for her, and hopefully we can use, a couple skills here. We've also got Rimuru for the rainbows. We've got Wind Trainee to ult rush as well. So, I mean, we've got orbs covered for blues, and then we're running a green protector. So, just like last time we're running blues and we're running an orange protector. Sure, whatever. Okay, well, I mean, it's not a terrible start right there. We'll just bring you in for Gobta and Rimuru. So we'll just send these. We can orb change with the Shizu, make it a full hand of greens. That works out fairly well. We do have a type disadvantaged character here in the new Shizu, but I don't think it's going to matter too much. And I believe... okay, yeah, I mean, it's okay damage. Alright. Oh, that's perfect, actually. Holy crap, they did a lot of damage. Alright, well, let's use Trainee to orb change that. Boom, and then let's make sure to get this Shizu away, because I don't need her taking any more damage than what she already did. And then we'll alt rush and stack a little bit on Shizu. Yeah, okay, we're rushing her ult a little bit. We're not going to use Frey yet, obviously, because I don't want... it's not going to work very well. Continue sending this. Now we're doing 10,000 a hit. If we can get the... we'll just start spreading damage out between Diablo and Geld, and it'll work out fairly well. We do have an alt swap in this Gobta, which is why he's still fairly good as a free-to-play unit. And even though it's going to be a blue orb, we can get around that, because Frey will just change that. Let's also rush again. And I think this will get her EX ult next turn. And we'll also be guaranteed crits in this Frey, who I don't use very often, so we're going to watch this. So, since this is the last part of the video, it's not going to take very long. I guess I'll just start the outro. We didn't show Shizu in any not great scenarios, because that's not the point of a showcase, is to make her look bad. We're supposed to make her look good. And she does have a number of EX characters that do fit the skill description to make the the best case scenario out of her support skill, as limited as it is. And the game does heavily favor blue orbs, just as much as green orbs. It's just oranges that are not really looked down or looked upon very fondly. So if you have a team that this new Fire Shizu can actually come in and buff efficiently, then you're going to be looking okay. Like, it's not a terrible thing. It's just that if you don't have a team, if you don't have any more of the Shizus or the Hinatas, and you don't have a physical focused team to begin with, or any EX characters for that matter, it becomes much more of an issue to where, why are you summoning for a support unit when you don't have anyone she's going to support, right? She's not a traditional DPS character. She is buffing everybody else on a team and orb changing, and that's the definition of a support character. And if they're not supporting anybody, then what are you doing? Alright, let's see how much damage this EX ult does. I haven't seen the Shizu's ult in a while either. So at the end of the day, like, she'll look really good if you build a team around her that she can actually work with. And if you don't, then she's not going to do much for you. And in that case, you don't need to summon for her. And she's not going to bring you a whole butt ton of value right here, right now. 411k is a lot of damage for that. That's only, what, a couple buffs? 2 stacks of the Shizu guaranteed crits, the wind buff, and then the big time buff. Like, that's fairly good damage. Like, for all, and once everything's said and done, that's really good damage. Because she's buffing a character that can make use of all of it. But if she wasn't an EX character, she would have only gotten the physical buff. If she wasn't physical, but she was an EX still, you would have gotten the 70% ult buff. Or, or nothing if you were just running the old Win 2.0 team as was meant to be taken on in this stage. So at the end of the day, this Shizu is an unnecessary character for most people that already have a decent support unit in place for their team that's changing orange orbs. Whether it be Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, or Tempest Sleep Benimaru, or anybody. Warrior's Mind Violet, she's magic focused to begin with, so like they wouldn't run together. Primal Demon Violet is changing 3 oranges. If you have a Primal Demon team, like, this Shizu's not going to fit on that team very well. It's just, again, it's a bit unnecessary for you to really go hard and pull for the Shizu if you don't really have a good use case for her. Down the line, we will probably get more commander units. We'll always get more Shizus and Heroes and Hinatas, so that's like unquestioned. So in a couple of months, when we have more characters for this, and her skills become much more relevant, she'll be a good pickup down the line as a featured unit on a brand new character's banner, where she's not the primary focus. And if you pull her, then great. And if you don't, well, okay, whatever. You've gone this long without her, you can probably manage just fine. I just don't recommend summoning for her right stat now unless you're like a really big Shizu enjoyer, which by all means have at it. Or if you're a whale, right? If you already clear the game with whatever team you're using, whether it be the Exalted Champions, the Primal Demons, or you have, a good semblance of the Commander meta, and you already have Fount of Wisdom Rimuru, then the Shizu's really not that necessary. Not necessary. But, there's the showcase for her. I did try my best to make her look good as a support character. Let me know your thoughts, but that's it from me, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all later.